Tell him, Steve Dave.
So I sent you a link to a story that I read last week. It was in Alabama, a controversy over whether this girl's prom dress was too short and too revealing. She was asked to leave the prom with, I think, 7 other people. The thing that struck me was their punishment for disobeying this dress code was that they could be suspended or they could be paddled.
What adult in the school is going around paddling the juniors and the senior girls whose clothes are too revealing? Because I want that job. That's insane. Now, you say, though, that no kid should be paddled, right? From any age to adulthood. Now I did.
So did I.
Yeah. And I actually think it was to my benefit.
Why is that?
Because in adulthood, that first time you get struck by a stranger... You think back and remember
those things fondly?
Not those things fondly, but you go walk around, you've never been hit, you're not going to know how to, like, even handle...
If somebody else tries to beat you up?
Yeah.
So you think that the kids today need training and getting their asses kicked in?
It did deter me from doing bad things, though, the threat of getting your ass whooped.
Who hit you, mom or dad? Or both?
I don't think my mom ever hit me. I don't even think my dad hit me, but I got hit by teachers.
Yeah, well, that's that's fucked up. Because that was one of my points. And in a second, I'll ask Quinn, because you and I went to public school, where corporal punishment, by the time I was of school age, had already been...
You thought it was phased out, but it really wasn't.
You thought it was phased out, right, but there was a subculture of teachers.
Some hardliners.
Right. And the earliest I remember being tossed around by a teacher was 3rd grade. I can't remember exactly why I had to, but our mutual friend, Brian Hartsgrove, he needed an escort down to the office. He has crutches, he has cerebral palsy, but he can still, he can motor around. It's not like he can barely walk. He doesn't drag his legs behind him or anything. I mean, he can run. And this teacher overheard me saying, don't run. She heard this and grabbed me by the arm, pulled me into the classroom, and literally threw me into my seat.
Oh, a female did.
A female teacher,
oh,
right.
See, that's bad.
Yeah, she was...
Getting knocked around by the female teacher.
Yeah, everyone was like, look at that little bitch. Oh, Johnson. I mean, to me, she was big because I was 8 or 9, and I was scared. I remember being scared because
can't show a female teacher fear.
No?
No, you gotta laugh it off. You ain't.
I was startled. I was fucking shocked. I was shocked. I couldn't believe it because I thought I was doing my job. He was running. She was saying, he can't run. You're an asshole for saying he can run, and threw me into the seat. And I went home and I told Pam and Edgar. Actually, I told Pam. Pam told Edgar. Edgar got pissed and called the school. And he was, pissed. Nobody beats on him but me.
That's my fucking job.
Yeah. And that was the first and last time I ever got manhandled by a teacher. No, I'm sorry. There was another time much later, but it was because I was in a fight. But it was more than once that you got...
Oh, yeah, I got slapped around a lot in school.
Did you get slapped around before you came to Highlands, or...?
No. That's why I thought there was something in the water in Highlands, or that was what fucking error is this that I'm getting punched aggressive by the fucking teachers every day I go to school.
It's 28 days later, that rage virus from...
We were in 5th grade together, and we had a teacher named Mr. White, and he was famous for 3 things. 1, fell asleep in class all the time. 2, if you did anything wrong, you had to write 500 times. Whatever the fuck it was, people are constantly writing something 500 times. And he was very physical. He would pull people by their ears, old school, real old school. Grab them by their ears and grab it real hard. Kids would be like, ow! And drag them down to the principal's office. And this was a guy that, in the mid-'70s, did you have to have teaching credentials? Could you...
I don't think in Highlands you needed any credentials. It just seemed like any fucking clam digger could walk in and start teaching that day.
It's funny you should say that, because he was a clam digger. That was his vocation. But that was the first time I saw you get jacked up by a teacher, was by him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember the circumstances.
It was a fight. I was involved in a little scuffle with another student, and he came over and broke it up, but broke it up in a way that was
You would have taken less of a beating from a kid, probably.
Grabbed me by the back of my neck, threw me against the wall, pushed me again, held me against the wall, by my face, it's almost like I couldn't breathe. He's got my face up against the wall, the cinder block wall of the school.
Yeah.
So my nose and my mouth are up against that, and he's not letting go with his hands.
It's crunching his nose and stuff.
It was fucked up.
Now your daughter is in 5th grade, right?
Right, same grade.
So she comes home and she's, her nose is fucking bruised up a little bit. And she says, I got into an argument with some girl and the teacher smashed my face up against the wall and pressed it so I couldn't breathe.
Well, after she told me, I guess then like about after my wife revived me after I was fucking unconscious, that I'm paying to send my daughter to a school and they're fucking physically fucking breaking her nose because she did something wrong.
It's about paying. If it was for free, you
if
would
it was
have.
for free, I'd be like, "Hey, you shouldn't have did that."
Well, when you were revived, do you think Debbie would be like?
It would be there'd be some hell to pay.
Would Debbie be like, I already have Brian on the phone, so you don't need to dial? I figured you wanted to go with
There
you.
would be I'm sure that teacher would never be teaching in the state of New Jersey ever again.
Because you would raise such hell.
Yeah. But if my daughter came home and said that there was an old school teacher came in and she was talking and she got rapped over the knuckles with a ruler, and I go, did that make you shut up when you shouldn't have been talking?
By a stranger?
By a stranger. As long as, like, I'm talking about something that just shocks them to be like where they do what they're told in.
Can they still do that in Catholic school?
My wife said they can't do that no more.
Well, like you said, we both went to public school, and I don't think that I've turned out any worse.
Yeah, but I did shit, though, that like, why am I getting thrown around and beaten up by the teachers all the time? Obviously, because I wasn't following the rules.
You went to Catholic school, Q. Allegedly didn't get molested. But did you get hit? Did you see other people getting hit? Because that's really the thrust of this conversation is...
I got hit twice. Once by a priest. I came in with a note.
The priest hit it.
Hit my ring hole really hard. No, I came in with a forged note.
Brian is allowed to be molested, love. Brian's mother.
And he was like, "Do you want detention?" And I was like, "No."
How old were you?
This was junior year.
And you got hit across
He
what?
walloped me
In the face?
Or open
in the
hand?
Face, like open hand, like across the face.
That is another thing. Doesn't that go against the Catholic belief, though, that you shouldn't, like...
I mean, hypocrisy runs rampant in every religion, it seems.
I don't get that whole thing of like, like I love you, you're my neighbor.
Smack.
Hold on, stand still so I can smack you across the face. How much punching would you have to do for you to physically then step in and, and stop him?
Another one might have done.
Just one more, and you would have hit an 80-year-old man.
He was. I would have.
At a certain point, self-defense has to come into play.
I would have grabbed
Two
a champagne
shots?
bottle or a fire poker.
2 shots is all it takes.
No. To stop him.
Well, or you get mad enough where you're like you give a backhand back to him.
I wouldn't deck an 80-year-old man. Senior year, my history teacher, I was in some sort of scuffle with a kid, and he pulled me into the class to yell at me, and he shoved me hard, and then I grabbed his thing, and I was gonna hit him, and then, we were like struggling.
Take notice, Brian. That's what you should be doing when someone's fucking.
In 3rd grade?
Yeah,
I should have been.
You should have. You should have.
I was 18. I was like,
This should have been my play at 8 years old.
Yeah. Or at least you got to laugh it off, though. If a female teacher is like throwing you around, you got to laugh it off as like this is a joke.
Well, I didn't burst into tears.
Like she's a joke to you.
I mean, if it were to happen again, like if I take an adult class over at Brookdale and a female teacher starts smacking me around, now I know the play for sure.
fucking pay for that now.
But I just think it's weird when any stranger puts their hands on another kid, because I went to a Methodist church, and it was some sort of like youth event, and there were older kids there, like high school kids, and I was so young that this lady was tying my shoe. This one girl, Lisa Johnson, her name was, no relation to me, was teasing me. And I remember I said, well, at least my mother doesn't live in a hole in the ground. Like, that was my big comeback to her.
Right.
And this fucking lady rocked me across the face so fucking hard that my ears were ringing. Like, she hit me so fucking hard. And she was old, too. Her name was, she's dead now, her name was Ellen Hinckley. From then on, I called her Smelling Stinkly behind her back. Years later, I had a paper route, and I smashed her mailbox apart because I used to walk by her house every day. And I brought a fucking bat with me, and I just fucking took her mailbox out.
Was she didn't know the mother that you made this comment about?
No, and she was friends with my grandmother, and she knew my family. Even at the time, like after she hit me, I was stunned from I'm always getting my ass kicked by girls. I'm just fucking, yeah. I mean, she was old.
I was getting batted around by dudes.
Yeah, like this was a blue collar guy that beat you up. Like he out there clamming, building up his fucking
But also
muscles
got
and shit.
beat up. Remember, I'm not beat up, but I got slapped across the face so hard in gym. Were you in my gym class that day?
Yeah, you were fighting with Frankel, right? Wasn't
No,
it?
Fecto.
Oh, Fecto,
Is
okay.
he alive?
No.
Yeah, so I was
No.
fighting with a dead man. We were playing soccer, and I gave him a flat tire.
On purpose?
Not on purpose the first time, but I noticed how annoyed he got. That I was like, okay.
It sounds so
I saw that
unlike
look
you.
in his face. I saw the look in his face. I was when it went on. I gave him a flat tire. That I was like, okay. And the next time he runs by, I'm going to give him another flat tire. And I kept doing it. And he finally turned around and he pushed me, and I pushed him back. And the gym teacher ran over like, I don't know, as if both of us were on fire. So he came running over with his eyes about the size of
Couple dinner plates.
yeah, like, and I could tell in his face that he was like enraged.
You're like, he must be looking past me to an actual fire. Just look at his face.
I see him coming. I don't know if the other kid sees him coming. We're also juniors. I think we're seniors. And he slapped the dude I was fighting with across the face as hard as I've ever seen anybody get slapped in my life since.
Yeah, I remember, and his face
Before
went
that-
like fire engine red.
It was how loud was
Factos.
that?
Well, it was
in the
yeah,
gym. It was like
reverberated.
Yeah,
at the
it
gym,
was
yeah.
like a shot at Dealey Plaza, man. It was.
Yeah.
And then he turned to face me, the gym teacher.
Dead silent too. The gym class dead
Yes, because
silent.
I knew, and I'm like, oh fuck, he's gonna slap me too. I know
hope
he
he's
is.
worn out.
I think even the gym teacher was like, oh my god, I just hit this kid so hard. He slapped me, but I
But
think
I remember
there was,
you put your arm up and you deflected it kind
yeah,
of.
I don't think he was going with the same force because I think even he was taken aback by his ridiculous overreaction.
Right. For something that was just like a shoving match, like
Right.
two guys having words. But if I remember this correctly, didn't Fecto say like fuck you?
Yeah, he got after he got up off the ground, he was screaming. I mean, he was crying uncontrolled. We're old too.
Yeah.
This also is what you shouldn't have did. I don't know if you cried, but he should. You can't cry. You know.
I've never gotten beaten up by an L gym teacher. So.
But he was crying and sobbing uncontrollably that you could barely make out his threats of that he'll have his job. That
He said he was going to sue, and he said that
your
he.
job is over. You're going to be paying me for the rest of your life. I didn't say a word. I was just happy to get off with a glancing blow.
Yeah, you kind of deflected it.
So he screams at us to go get dressed. I go in the locker room, and we're the only two in the locker room, and we're in different sections of the locker room. So like four rows over, I hear he can't even take a breath.
That's Fecto crying for getting rocked in the face, or Johnson got beat up by another female teacher.
So I get dressed, and I don't know what to do at this point because he's uncontrollable.
Did you feel like you needed to comfort him?
No, I just didn't know what to do because I
Give
didn't
him
know
a
what.
flat tire.
Here's the IC on the cake, motherfucker.
So I walk over to him. He looks up at me. I don't know how he's going to react to me. I don't know if he's pissed at me. I wasn't scared like he was going to be pissed, but I didn't know if he had even forgotten about that he was pissed at me. He comes over to me and goes, "We're going to sue, right?"
You're like
No.
the Vatican. You're like, I'm covering this shit up.
I was like, "What? Sue about what?" I said. And he goes, "We got smacked." He goes, "Who got smacked?"
You said who got smacked?
Yeah.
That's how you stay alive. You stay alive.
You
I
fucking
was
dummied
like-
up?
Yeah, I was like, I am not saying a word, bro. I'm not involved in this. And I walked out.
What did you think was going to happen? What's the worst thing that could have happened to you?
I didn't want my mom getting involved. I'm like 17 too at this point. I don't want my mom coming up there and embarrassing me because I got smacked across the face.
Unlike me, who ran right to Edgar. I'm like, I'm beat up by a girl. He's like, oh. Oh.
Later on that afternoon, I get called down to the principal's office. The principal brought me in and goes, I know what happened. Do you want to tell me anything about it? I was like, there's nothing to talk about. I said, it's over as far as I'm concerned. I believe after that, I got special treatment from that gym teacher.
You got much respect because
I got an A in his health classes. I was never spoken to but any other way but friendly. I think I handled it properly.
Because you took it like a man.
Yeah, I think I took my medicine and that was it.
But he smacked another student.
Oh, yeah, I saw
and that
that.
student sued.
Did he win?
He didn't win.
How can you not win?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know.
What?
I remember though that
I think he had the fucking lawyer you had.
The
for
case was
fucking
dropped.
carjacking. How the fuck can you not win when you get smacked around in school? So he didn't win. And this teacher, I think this teacher still teaches.
He is still there.
I wouldn't say the name. There's no need for him to, if he hears about this.
Payback.
No, he didn't ever hit you, did he?
No, he had his hand around my throat though. In gym class once we were playing indoor soccer and I got into a fight with a guy who had one hand. You know what I'm talking about? He only had one hand.
At least you're moving up.
Yeah, I know,
at least it's not a 90-year-old woman.
It's a one-handed cripples.
I'm like, Dad, I got into a fight today. He's like, oh, with a girl. I'm like, no.
A guy with two hands? Almost.
I'm halfway there. No, but this guy had a stump. But believe me, like when he hit you with it, it was concentrated, like because it was.
It was like an adamantium fucking stub.
And then a tiny little bit of skin, and it hurt. And when we got into the locker room, I was like, dude, let's not get dick. Just don't fucking hurt me. No, when we got into the locker room, he wanted to continue it. And I was kind of like on a friendly basis with this kid up to this point. And I said, come on, man, like just relax. And he hit me again. So I pushed him back, and then we started to fight. And then the teacher came, and he grabbed both of us and pushed us against the
he's got to break up the fight, though. He's got to break up the fight.
But you don't have to break up the fight and hold somebody against a locker by their neck lecturing for fucking 20 straight seconds.
In his defense, he has no idea. You guys are still going at it after he told you to break it up. So he has to break it up.
Right, but he doesn't have to hold you against the locker by your neck. That he doesn't have to do.
Do I tell my kids about that? Or like that? I used to get like slapped around by a teacher.
They think you're lying.
They think I'm lying, and I tell them that I'm okay with them, like fooling around. I'm like, I'm okay if you're teacher. You know, you talk back to a teacher. Hey, it worked for me. It'll work on you, and they laugh it off because they know I'm fooling around. But like you said, it would be fucking crazy to pay for that fucking privilege to get slapped, get your kids get slapped around.
I do believe it's to humiliate and embarrass. It's not the actual physical pain that's the deterrent. It's I got paddled. I look like a fool. Not
Unless
everyone.
they're doing it on stage in the gym. I mean,
not everyone drinks it in like you, where you feel it made you a better person.